Hey, party people. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Before you ask, yes, these are flip-flops on my shirt. At the time of this video, this is the first weeknight workshop of summer break.
Yeah, summer vacation.
So I'm a high school teacher, and I'm celebrating because now I can shift gears and fully focus on the great things that we're going to be sharing with you guys for the next few months. All right?
Yeah, right on. Right on. Okay, I'm just checking our stuff out on the computer. So if you are here,
Beautiful.
boom. If you are here for the first time, just drop it into the chat. Tell us your name, tell us your location. Last week, we had a viewer from Brazil. So, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, Brazil. It was good having you. Thank you for your questions. So yeah, during the workshop, drop your questions in the chat or your comments. And if you have any questions, we will answer them during this live video. So we're going to get into the content tonight. So the title of the video is How to Create Your Vision as a Real Estate Entrepreneur. But honestly, this is for anyone who's trying to create a business, especially if you are any type of entrepreneur, right? So we know, and maybe you know, that people will try to tell you that when you start a business, the very first thing that you need to figure out is what are you going to do, right? Like, what are you going to do in your business? But in last week's workshop, we talked about how the very first thing that you need to do is you need to start with
Why?
why. Why are you getting into business, especially real estate? Because it's kind of a big deal, right? It's kind of an endeavor, a little bit of a thing to bite off and try to chew on. So we talk about why, starting with your why is so important. And why is it so important? Well, go back and watch that video, which is posted down in the description below. Just click on that link and watch the Why Start with Why real estate investing video that's linked up down there. Okay. So we're going to talk about the next step in the order of operations according to us, your resident experts, on getting started in real estate entrepreneurship. And it's not the what do I do to get started in business. And it's not even like so much the who. After the why comes the where. And I don't necessarily mean your location. What I'm talking about is where do you want your business to take you in the future? Or where do you want things to move forward in the future because you created your business? Okay. So the second step to starting your business before you launch, before you even draft a business plan, is you need to create a vision.
So do not gloss over this.
Right.
All right. Having the vision, it's the best of the best all have a clear vision. All right. The most successful entrepreneurs, business leaders, all have that. So if they're doing it, there's a reason for it. Couple things. You want to think of it like a lighthouse. So imagine you're on your ship going through this tumultuous sea of life. All right. And it's stormy. You're not sure which way to turn. You're trying to avoid the shore. Then there's the lighthouse. It's like refreshing. It gives you purpose and it gives you direction and bearing. And all of that is wrapped up in your vision.
Yes.
Okay. Also, in this business, in this world of business, we're constantly bombarded with decisions, ways to go left, right, center, what to say yes to, what to say no to. So you want to think of your vision kind of like your email. So you get all these bombarded with emails all day long, and you have that beautiful thing called spam.
Yes.
And so the computer decides this is a spam mail. This one's good. It goes in your inbox. So being able to have a vision helps you to align the things that you should be doing in your business and the things you should not be doing. Next, it also gives everyone who is part of your business a unified vision and a unified mission.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to clarify a couple things right now. Definitions. The vision is what you want to achieve in the future, your end goal, okay? The mission is what you are doing today to work towards that vision. So think about when Jesus gave his 12 disciples the Great Commission, go ye therefore into all the world, okay? He ends that with, for the kingdom of God is at hand. The vision was the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
The mission was go into all the world, preach, teach, disciple. So that's the distinction, and they both go hand in hand, but they are very different things. Your vision, it should also be closely tied to your personal passions and values.
Yeah, you got to make it personal.
If it's not, you're not going to put the same energy and effort into it. All right. So you want to make sure it's something that you actually truly care about. And you're going to see tonight what our personal passion is towards.
Yeah. So like some examples of big companies that have visions. What do we got?
Oh, well, if you're going up the food chain here, you got Elon Musk.
Elon.
All right. So Tesla's vision is to create the world's best electric vehicles to create a more sustainable energy future. So right there, he's got the vision of a sustainable energy future.
Yeah, and he wants to be number one,
Yeah.
like top dog. Like he wants Tesla to be the company that drives us, no pun intended, into the electrical future, right?
And then you've got Apple, small company, but still we'll go over it.
Little guys, worth a mention though.
And their vision statement is to make the best products on the planet and to leave the world a better place than they found it. So there you go. You have the work of creating the best products out there, but you also have the philanthropic of leaving the world a better place than you found it.
Yeah,
So,
and like regardless of how you feel personally about these companies or about the people who run them, these are two behemoths of companies, right? Behemoths, if you can pluralize that, right? So when they set these visions and establish the mission steps underneath it, it worked.
Yep.
It motivates people. It drives things forward, right? It's the anchor, it's the root that everybody comes back to, the vision.
Yeah. So when we talk about our personal vision, Blair's the one who's put in just the hours and the prayer and the power into our vision. So tonight we're going to do things a little different. I'm going to be interviewing her, asking those questions that are going to lead all of us through the process of vision building. Okay?
Yes.
So first off, Blair.
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
What is our vision?
What is our vision? Okay. So our end goal, we feel like the purpose for even creating this business in the first place, our God-given mission and the reason why we were born. Not to be dramatic about any of that,
Too
as
late.
dramatic as that sounded, right? So I used to be a teacher, little guys, elementary school. John Paul still is a teacher, not for the next 3 months though.
Nope.
And we also used to be youth pastors. All right. So if you didn't know it, hubby is a pastor. Okay. And I was his lovely assistant in youth ministry. So we have observed, as you all adults, parents of children have probably also observed, that there's just a lack of depth within the youth of today. And this is not knocking on the youth of today by any means. We have worked with hundreds and hundreds of excellent middle school, teenage kids like over the last few years. But there's just this lack of depth, especially when it comes to what do you want to be when you grow up? Once you exit high school, where are you going in life? What are you doing? And myself included, when I was a senior in high school, I really, really lacked direction And it's one of those things where I don't think I would go back and change anything, but I do wish that I would have had a little more guidance on what to do with the rest of my life in terms of career, right? So it is a heart's pursuit, a passion pursuit for us that the reason why we have we pivoted in our 30s into real estate entrepreneurship is so that we could build up all of this knowledge and then combine it with our skill sets as teachers and mentors, as youth pastors, and create a nonprofit organization that teaches the youth of America, hopefully it spreads nationwide,
Oh, yes.
about entrepreneurship, especially our area of expertise, real estate entrepreneurship. So that's what we would like to do. We want to create a nonprofit where we bring youth and young adults in and we teach them the ropes and we teach them the skill sets, right? So the time frame that I have set for this, if you guys are goal setters, you got to set a time frame around your goals, is I would like to achieve this by my 50th birthday. At the time of this recording, my 40th is just 3 weeks out.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got 10 years and 3 weeks. The clock is set. You can't see it. It's over there. It's off camera. But the countdown clock is ticking. It's not really there. But but we've got 10 years and 3 weeks to reach this goal.
Mm-hmm.
That we actually established a few years ago. I think it was in 2020, actually, where we established this vision. And what's funny is things didn't really start getting goofy in the United States, at least not the Midwest, until about March of 2020. But I remember you and I going into 2020 declaring that it was going to be the year of vision. Get it? 2020 vision, because I like catchy stuff like that. And then COVID happened, and a lot of people were derailed.
Yep.
We were knocked off our square for just a minute, though, just a minute. And I kept preaching, not like from the pulpit, but usually on Facebook. 2020 is still the year of vision, you guys. I don't care what goofy things are going on in the world. This doesn't have to derail you from your purpose, from your mission, from your vision, whatever it is that you've set out to do, whether you're in business or you are an employee or you're just hanging out, living life, right? 2020 was still, for me, going to be the year of vision. And I'm pretty sure it's because I made that declaration and then I stuck to my guns.
Yes.
In spite of, or despite, whatever phrase is appropriate there. Regardless of what goofy stuff was going on around me, I'd made that declaration and I stuck to my guns. And in the middle of 2020, God gave me this vision of, you have a heart for the youth, me, us. We have a heart for the youth. We have a heart for entrepreneurship. 2020 was the year where things really started to blow up and take off for us. Like, sorry, everybody who struggled during COVID. It was so good for us. And that's when God gave me the vision of this foundation, this nonprofit that we wanted to create. But I have been struggling with it, past tense. I had been struggling with it within the last year or so because I had that vision. It was super clear, like the end game. Sorry to cover your face. The end game was super clear. I could see the result, but I wasn't sure about our day-to-day actions. The steps were a little bit fuzzy. And as we began to ramp things up in 2023, 2023 was our best year ever. We'll probably end 2024 and say best year ever. Pretty much at the end of every year, it's like best year ever. At the end of 2023, I began to see, with all of the business that we are doing, we really need to get serious about tightening down our efficiency, our effectiveness. We really need to make sure that everything that we are doing is driving us toward actually seeing this vision come to fruition, right?
Oh, yes.
There were a lot of opportunities coming our way, lots and lots of things that we could say yes to, or lots of different pivots that we could make, and I wanted to make sure that we were staying on the right track. And so I know, and you guys probably know, how to set goals. They need to be measurable, right? So they need to be time bound, they need to be attainable. These are the different letters in the SMART goals, right? But I didn't know how to measure the steps that I needed to take toward my vision, because my vision is sort of abstract. Like, it's just this good idea, this like philanthropic give back to the world, right? Like, it's not an amount of money, it's not a certain number of properties. If it was that, then that would be easy to track and we wouldn't be making this video right now, right? But I just didn't know how to take an abstract vision in my brain and turn it into a metric. And that was really stressing me out. But that was before I realized that you can actually turn anything, regardless of how abstract it is, into a measurable metric and track it.
Wait a minute. I'm going to back up.
Okay.
Because I remember before we figured out that all of that cool stuff you just said,
Yeah.
that it was everything we were doing, it just like we were grasping at straws. You know, it was like, how do we get to that awesome, 10-year, well, I guess it would be 14-year plan at that point.
Yeah, like what are we even doing?
How do we get there? How do we get there? Okay. So it's like we were guessing our way to the end zone. All right. Just hoping that the actions we were taking were producing the results that would, get us to that vision. So please tell these wonderful people, how did we overcome this major obstacle?
Okay. So I think the number one step that we took was just identifying the importance of it to us. So in general, it's really important to us to be efficient and effective. Like, if this guy can cut 25 seconds off of our commute, he's going to do it. Like, this guy is efficient. So it was a matter of importance to us. So I think that's the first thing is knowing, being certain of the fact that you are actually reaching your goals. It has to be important to you. Okay, that's the first thing. So for us, rather than like fumbling around and just trying to figure things out on our own, one of the things that we have done since the beginning and continue to do is we pay for trainings and we pay for coaching. And what that has done for us is it's fast-tracked things for us, and it has brought so much more clarity.
Bingo.
So, yeah. So we find the people who have already done the thing that we want to do, and we make sure that these people have done it well, right? And we connect with them for counsel, for coaching, for training, right? And so we have a lot of people give us really great advice, and it just cuts out a lot of guesswork and it saves a lot of time. So when your goal is time bound, one of the things that you want to eliminate is wasted time, right? So the most recent coach that we hired, we actually hired him to teach us bigger scale multifamily acquisition. So we own a couple of small multifamily properties, but we have interest in the larger apartment syndication space, and I won't dive into that right now, but this is the reason why we hired this coach. Part of the reason why I wanted to hire him is because I already knew how in alignment we were with him. All right, so whatever it is that he had going on, it was like I just kind of wanted to model that. And it wasn't just the things that he did, it was also how he did things, his mindsets, like his frameworks, etc. It was just like, teach me the ways, right?
Yes.
So the focus was on multifamily acquisition, but he understood, just like we do, the high value on having your mindset correct and your mindset on the things that you want to achieve. And that's really what mindset is. It's like, what is your mind set on, right? Is it set on things that propel you forward, hold you back, keep you stagnant, right? So part of what he taught us in our coaching sessions was building out a vision. So he taught us, and I could do this over and over again. I could take anybody's idea. I could take another idea. I could take your idea. I could take your mom's idea. That even if it's abstract, and now I know, like now we know how to take something kind of wonky and build it out into something measurable. So this like abstract philanthropic desire of my heart, he taught us how to chunk it out and turn it into measurable steps. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the first thing he did was he asked John Paul and I 2 questions. Okay, the first question was the big picture question. Like, what do you even want to do? Not in real estate, not in business, but in your life. And this is like legacy thinking, right? Which we're not taught to do in public school.
Unfortunately not.
This guy teaches high school choir and does his best to plug in as much like entrepreneurial mindset,
Much to my students' chagrin.
teaching as he can, like in between, like teaching them how to sing better, like how to also just be better at life, right? So that was the question number 1 is, what is the big picture? What do you actually want to do with your life, right? Are you gonna say something?
No,
Okay.
I love it.
All right, I'll keep going. I'll keep on trucking. And then the second question that he asked us, and this was the question, you guys. This was like the mind-blowing revelation, right? He asked us, okay, so after we defined this is what we want to do, he asked us, what type of person do you need to become then in order for you to launch this as successfully as possible? And that question is really what opened our eyes and connected all of the dots. And what was like once abstract became super, super clear. And I could see exactly how to quantify things, measure things out, and actually order our steps to be sure that it actually ended up with achieving our vision in the time frame that we had set.
All right. So this is a key moment here. So let's not pass over what she just said.
Listen up, everyone.
All right. If your goal was to be an Olympic power lifter, but you haven't been in a gym in 15 years, okay, what type of person do you need to be to reach that goal?
The type of person that goes to the gym.
You got to be a person who goes to the gym.
Bro, do you even lift?
Okay.
Right.
Get strong on your nutrition. Hire a trainer. You need to become a different type of person. All right. So it's still you. All right. It's still you, but it's you elevating your behavior to the level of the room you want to be successful in.
You elevated. Don't steal my book title. Don't do it. It's mine. I called it.
So
Go on. Please.
Man,
I know.
she gets all the good
I'm
ones.
the comic relief. That's all I am.
When we started doing this thing, when framing our path based on that question of what type of person do we need to become to reach that level of our vision of success, it was huge. It was like unlocking the mysteries of life. All right. So we're going to dive into that, and you get an opportunity to learn more about how we did that. So Blair,
Yes.
how did this question turn our abstract plan into measurable steps?
Because it pointed out that we had wrong focus. So TD Jakes actually has a great teaching and message that is on YouTube on wrong focus. I don't know if that's the title of it, but I just remember listening to it a few years ago, and he just kept saying, like, you have wrong focus. If you think this way or that way, blah, 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 you have wrong focus. And he was really talking about the type of person that you need to become. It all starts with your mindset and your focus. So we realized that we had really been focusing up until that point on the what we thought we should be doing. And we came to the realization that what we actually needed to focus on is who we should be becoming, right? Who we should be becoming. And so this is where the reverse engineering really came into play, when we realized that it's not what we should be doing right now. That's not where we start. It's who are we going to be in the future, and then work backward from that
Yes.
that future self, work things backwards into today's self, and then what were all those steps, like backward steps? So let me clarify a little bit, and I'm just going to use our example. So maybe our example will help you guys to make your own outline, bullet points, and draft, etc. Okay. So for example, our vision is we would like to have a nonprofit. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this as succinct as possible. Those who have the most successful nonprofits have high net worth donors who donate to their nonprofits, right? There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to have your nonprofit. However you do it is cool. You do you. Don't care. But from what we have observed, the form of a donation. So one of our personal goals, though, is we want to be one of our foundation's top donors. Like, we don't want to just have a fundraiser and ask other people to throw in. Like, we are going to put our money where our heart and intentions are, right? So we also want to be one of its top donors. So rich people, good way to get a lot of money for your foundation, right? And one of the best events that you can throw in order for that to happen is to throw something called a gala event. So you will see things like the Make-A-Wish Foundation will host a gala event, and they will invite high value, high net worth individuals to come to the gala event and make their donation. And, there's just all sorts of incentives in it for the people to do so. Some are extrinsic and a lot of them are intrinsic incentives, right? So the only way for wealthy donors to attend the event, however, though, is they need to receive an invitation to the event, right? So how do you get people to attend your event, whether it's your kid's birthday party or a gala event for millionaires? You have to send them an invitation. But why does anybody accept an invitation to your party? Usually because
they're friends.
You're friends.
You know each other.
Right?
You rub elbows.
You don't usually invite randoms to your shindig, right? So why would high net worth individuals accept our humble invitation? Well, it's because by the time we're ready to launch this vision, we will already have been friends with them for a number of years.
Ain't nothing humble about it.
Right. So here's the thing, though, you guys, don't tell anybody, because this is a secret. At the time of this recording, we're not ultra wealthy.
Nope.
Like, we ain't doing bad. Real estate's been great. But, like, if I want to, speaking of Elon Musk, invite him to my gala event.
You're more than welcome to join us, by the way, Elon.
We're not exactly there yet, right? But like I said, we've got 10 years and 3 weeks to become ultra wealthy people. We have plenty of time to build up to the level of wealth, especially because we're in real estate, right? I'm not trying to sell like eyelash extensions, on Instagram or anything like that. Like, we are in an industry that is, it is a vehicle for wealth. It is a wealth vehicle. It just is. And it's just like, did God put us in this industry, us poor little teachers, just because he loves us so much? Yeah, probably, but also because he has a greater vision. And I've heard this phrase from somebody wiser than me. It's not about the money, it's what the money can do. You don't use the people and love the money. You use the money to love on the people, right? So you use the money to love on the people, and that is the best thing that you can do with your wealth, in our opinion, right?
Oh yes.
So anyway, our coach asking us that question and pointing out that what we needed to focus on would be the type of people who could launch a fundraiser that might take a few $1,000,000 to get up off the ground. If we need to become that type of person, then there's a lot of things that we need to do, right? And if you think about it, like to host a successful fundraiser, we want to invite wealthy donors. To get wealthy donors to accept our invitation, we probably should be their established friend at the point in time, or at least be like a friend of their friend, right? Because friends invite friends to parties. And then to become friends with this group of people in an echelon that we do not yet belong to, we need to become the type of person that they would befriend, right? Because if birds of a feather flock together, then honey, we gotta start working on our feathers.
On those feathers.
Start working on the feathers.
So we decided that we needed to start regularly networking with high net worth people.
Yeah.
Which meant we needed to become ourselves high net worth people. All right. This realization, do you see how this is coming together now? Because figuring out who we needed to become is helping guide us through this process.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Defining things for us.
We needed to know who we needed in our inner circle and who we needed in our network. We needed to figure out what business opportunities to say yes to, which ones to say no to, types of platforms that we needed to get on or be a part of, different organizations we needed to join, or even take leadership roles in. So all of that filters through this who we need to be process. So becoming that certain type of person doesn't just refine your environment, the room you're in, it also refines your behavior. We understood that we needed to become the type of person that people said yes to. People that we needed to work with would say yes to us.
Yes.
All right, so here are some things that we had to become and are still working on. All right. We had to be reliable. That if we said we would do something, we do it.
No excuses.
We had to become competent. That whatever we put our hand to, we achieved at a high level.
We actually had to be able to do stuff.
We had to be highly valuable to other people. So the people in our sphere gain and benefit from being a part of our world. Okay. And we also had to be enjoyable.
Yes.
You want to work with people
important.
that that you get along with and can work well with.
Yeah,
all
you
right?
want other people that actually want to be around you.
So us becoming high net worth people isn't just about increasing our portfolio.
Right.
All right. It's not about the Benjamins. It's also greatly tied to elevating who we are and our personal character.
Yes, there's that word elevate again.
Message.
Message. Don't steal my book title. I already told you. Do
So
it.
becoming a certain person is essential for anyone to achieve their vision. But that's still vague in terms of measurement.
Word, I know.
So help us out again.
Okay, I will.
How did we set the metrics around becoming high net worth people?
Okay, so yes. Defining the type of person that you need to become is another one of those vague, abstract concepts, right? So how do you keep track and how do you keep measurement though? Are the things that I'm doing in the day-to-day still going to result in me reaching the vision? Okay. And really what we're talking about is not necessarily things that we're doing in our family life or things that we're doing like in personal time. We're talking about time spent in the business or time spent on business activities like networking, et cetera, right? So I'm not talking about like, I'm making decisions about like taking my kids to the beach or taking my kids to the amusement park. Not those types of decisions, right? So our coach, again, back to our coach, just helping bring massive clarity
Oh,
and
yes.
eliminating so much time spinning our tires. He showed us how to use our current metrics to set future metrics. Okay. So you look at what you are capable of doing or producing right now today, and then that helps to guide you toward what you need to be doing or producing in the future. All right. So our real life, real world example was going back to we want to be the people who are the top donors in our nonprofit. And I mean, if somebody wants to come in and just like double down on what we've donated, you're completely welcome to. But really, it goes back to we want to show people that we are putting in a sizable amount of money into this foundation because it means so much to us. And that's just like incentive for them to invest in it as well, right? So that's just like a side note. If you really want people to invest in a thing, you invest in it as well, right? Like that's how we get people to finance our deals and bring all of the money, is because we have sweat equity in the game. Like we're out there hustling and grinding. So other people are willing to
So not
to
put your
throw
money
in.
where your mouth is. Put your sweat where your. Oh, okay.
Gross. Ew, why would you even say that? Ew. So anyway, going back to we want to be the top donor in our nonprofit. Okay. So our coach had us look back to one of the most recent donations that we made to an organization. Okay. And it wasn't just like a piddly like $10 in the offering plate. It was a donation that to us felt big, like in that moment, but we were still comfortable with it. Like we weren't going to go bankrupt, right? Like we were really excited to do it. I don't know, just all sorts of feels around it. Like we had, I don't even know how to describe to you guys, like through real estate, it hasn't just been like about what we've been able to acquire for our own selves. It's been about what we've been able to do and what we've been able to give. And it's just been so great.
Yes.
And I talk about that in the Why Start With Why. Click the link in the description below if you'd like some more information on that. But anyway, that donation felt really big to us in the moment, but it was also something that we were completely comfortable with. So our coach said to us, okay, how much money did you donate? And I told him that amount. And then he said, okay, think ahead to this gala event. In your brain right now, what's the amount of money that you want to donate opening night? Stand up in front of all of those people and say, this is what we're giving. Like, what's that amount of money? And so I told him that amount of money that I had in my brain. And he pointed out that the amount of money I want to donate in the future is 10 times larger than the amount of money we were able to donate present day. So he said, in order for you to have a similar scenario where the donation feels big to you and you're excited about it, but you're still comfortable with it, then you need to multiply your future bank account balance times 10. And that was where the numbers began to fall into place. Because from there, and 10 being such a nice round figure, right? From there, all we had to do was look back at the amount of business that we had done to get us to the current financial position where we could give that donation but still feel comfortable, multiply the business we had done, and I'm talking about like revenue we had generated, right? Multiply the business we had done by 10, and that's where we needed to be in 10 years. So here we are today. Here's the amount that revenue we need to be doing in 10 years, and we just map the path out.
So you're all clear here. That does not mean that we need to work 10 times harder to get to that price point, all right? Because it ain't about working harder. It's about working smarter.
Yes.
All right? So having that realization, that figure in our heads now,
Mhm.
that perspective gave us so much clarity and conviction about how we are spending our time,
Yeah.
what we're focusing on, what we're saying yes to and no to. All of those things started to become very clear to us about how we had to shift in certain ways in order to get to that number and to
Mhm.
that goal. All right. And it even helped form our business and changed our ideas about
Mhm.
what should be happening with our business. In as much as now the business itself wasn't as important, it had become more of a, I guess you'd say, a vehicle to get to that vision. All right.
Yeah.
So the business became this vehicle that would help us get to where we needed to go. I'm going to give you a little example here. Say you're taking a family trip, okay? And you have plans to go out of state, and you decide that you're going to hop on an airplane and you're going to take your family to that destination via airplane. Then you look up and you see that all flights to that area are indefinitely canceled,
Just forever. No more flights ever.
okay?
Can't do it.
So at that point, do you just say, "Oh, I guess we're not going on the trip"? Well, sorry, kids, we've been planning this for 6 months, but no airplane, no trip.
You're never gonna get to see Mickey Mouse.
Mm, mm. Worse things could happen. So then you don't do that though. A good parent doesn't do it. You get creative and you find another vehicle.
You figure it out.
You
Yep.
rent a car. You get look at buses. You take a
Right.
train. All right.
Right.
So there are many ways to get to your destination, and the same goes for your business.
Mm-hmm.
Having a clear vision of your future, it helps you realize that the business, this thing you're so stuck in and focused on right
Yeah.
now, it's just a tool. And it's a tool that helps you get to the big things, the big God things, the things He's put in our hearts. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And so all you do is you choose which vehicle, the best route that
Mm-hmm.
makes the most sense to get you to that goal, and then you switch it up whenever it's needed.
Yeah. This was really the healthy mindset shift that we needed to make.
Yeah.
And like you said, the business really did take a backseat then to the vision. Like accomplishing the vision became more important than growing the business, building the business, etc. Even though the purpose of growing and building the business is to reach the vision, right? So instead of now getting so hung up on each individual strategy that we're doing or the day-to-day tasks, etc., it's like we now in the last year or so, instead of saying like, oh, we're house flippers, yeah, but we're also landlords, yeah, but we also wholesale, and sometimes we invest in other things too. We're just real estate entrepreneurs.
Yep.
We're just real estate entrepreneurs, and we don't even identify with our company name. Like we have an LLC, and you'll see it on the paperwork if we ever do a deal together, right? But that's our business isn't even our identity anymore. Like we are just real estate entrepreneurs. We can flip houses, we can buy rentals, we can wholesale properties, we can invest in trusts, we can invest in software and technology that's related to real estate, property management, like whatever it is, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever strategy will work best for us in whatever season, because markets ebb and flow, and some strategies have favor in this type of market, etc. It doesn't matter, right? Because um, the business wasn't the thing anymore.
No.
It wasn't the main thing. Like all of a sudden, it was like, oh my goodness, like the purpose for our business is to get us to the vision. They're not separate. It's not, because I don't think I mentioned, when we had this vision of teaching kids on like real estate entrepreneurship, we hadn't made the connection yet that the reason why we are building a real estate entrepreneur business is to teach kids. It's not like this secondary nice idea that we had. It was like we had this revelation of the reason why we are working in this business anyway isn't about building the business. It's about one day having the capital, having the clout, having the platform, having the network, having the connections that will allow us to launch this type of endeavor, which is going to be pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great.
Yep.
That was really, really great. So, I mean, honestly, you guys, the key takeaway, the big revelation that I hope you all are having, I hope your little brains are just popping, right? You don't start a business for the sake of having a business unless you want to be like the restaurant owner that I worked for when I was right out of college, who hated his life. He hated his restaurant. He hated it so much. And he has since sold it because he hated it so much. But you don't just start a business for the sake of starting a business. I mean, you can, but really what we think it should be about, and what so many other high-level entrepreneurs do it for, is you start a business to accomplish the things and the purposes and the missions that you have in life. And that's really the purpose for your vision, for your business. Your business needs to be, to you in your mind and in your heart, the vehicle that gets you to your vision, the vehicle that allows you to fulfill your purpose. And if you miss this point, you're gonna end up like that poor guy who owned the restaurant that hated his life so much because he was just so stressed out all the time. You're gonna burn out quick. So if your business isn't driven by your purpose, because ultimately all you've really created for yourself when you start a business is just another job. Like, you get to be the boss now, right? And your name is on the paperwork, etc. But bosses, business owners take on a huge amount of work and time spent and responsibility and risk. And so if you're just going into it as an alternative to your current paycheck, like, maybe just stay an employee, because you can clock out, but entrepreneurs can't. Like, real entrepreneurs can't just leave when business hours are over. Entrepreneurs have to stay until the thing is done, or until the metaphorical fires are put out, or until the real fire is put out, right? So just go ahead and do yourself an enormous favor. After you've watched this video all the way until the end, till completion, take some time to define your vision. Write it down, pin it up on your wall, and then just start getting really super duper fired up about it. And then go back to somebody that you know, or that you've met, and you know that they have already created a successful vision that they are walking out and taking action steps toward, and just have them help you turn it into some sort of actionable plan. You know, if your vision isn't a number, it's abstract like ours was, just throw your hand up and get some help with it.
Yep. So tonight we want to end with prayer.
Yes.
We want to pray over you, over your vision. And before we get into that, you might be asking yourself, how do I even figure out what my vision should be? Very simple. Ask God.
Word.
Okay? Ask him, what is the vision you have for my life? Okay? Because we all have our own plans, but it's God's plan that will prevail.
Right.
Okay? So what is this big thing that I was put on this planet to achieve? That's the goal, and that's what's going to happen in this prayer. Okay? And whenever you're unsure, look at Matthew 7, chapter 7, verse 7. Okay? And remember to ask, to seek, and to knock.
Yep.
And you will get the answers.
Absolutely.
Okay?
That's how it happened for us. And we know it will happen for you. All right. Pray us out, Pastor.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the example, for the vision that you placed upon all of humanity. Lord, for the words that you've penned in the Bible that have given us so much direction through this world. We thank you now that even in this moment, you are stirring our spirit. You are aligning our thoughts and our purpose with you. And we pray for that vision to be made known to every person watching right now. That the vision that you have for their life, every person has a unique purpose and plan. And Lord God, open up their heart and their mind to receive it and to walk it out.
Mm-hmm.
We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right. Well, thank you, party people, for tuning in. And remember, do all that YouTube-y stuff. Like, subscribe, comment. You guys know what to do. Check out our last video previously on Weeknight Workshop. It is down in the description below. So click on that link. It'll take you to why you need to start with your why.
Yes.
And we will see you all next Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, for the next edition of the workshop.
Weeknight Workshop.
Exactly.
Good night, everyone.
All right, bye. Take care.
All right.